And welcome, guys, to another episode of the MMOs.com podcast. We are now on episode 10, the big double digits. And Altay here, joined by...
Omer?
And Gumbel.
Shurelya.
Excellent, the team is here.
Going forward, I'm going to go with Remo. Remo Tay from now on, okay? I want to throw that out there now. Remo Tay going forward.
So basically, everyone's going with a moniker now.
We're trying to avoid legal disputes here.
All right, fair
Big
enough.
Gumbel.
I like Remo Tay anyway. I think Remo sounds way cooler than my real name anyway. Omer, we got Remo. Remo just rolls off the tongue.
So should I go with Altay or Lord Altay then?
Lord Altay is a little pretentious, if you ask me.
Wow.
Just a little bit.
Just make it Lord. You got Lord British.
No, you have... That's like a teenage singer, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I am Lord. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a middle-aged geologist from Colorado. Okay, guys?
What a great episode of South Park. Great arc.
That was great. I loved it.
All right. So this week, I want to start with not a game announcement, but a little bit of news. I found this really interesting. So the former Sony Online Entertainment, which is now Daybreak Game Company, they have a very outspoken CEO. He's always on Twitter and stuff. John Smedley, and he made a really, I think, a bad call on Twitter a few days ago.
Look at people using Twitter to make bad decisions, bad PR.
Yes, that seems to be a very
Twitter's
common
for.
theme.
So always screw yourself on Twitter.
He publicly threatened with a civil case, legal case, a Finnish teenager, minor, who was convicted for cybercrime related to Lizard Squad. He was a hacker in Lizard Squad, some online trolling group. And this guy is, like I say, he's a minor, and he lives in Finland. So basically, he got away with his crimes with no jail sentence. He got a 2-year suspended sentence. And Smedley didn't like that. So he went on Twitter to call him a little shit and said
he would called him a little shit?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Exactly.
Yeah, he called him a dirtbag, a shit, and he said this guy threatens my family, with his actions. And anyway, so what happened after that is Lizard Squad basically DDoS'd all of his games. Brought down all his games for a while.
Daybreak's games.
Daybreak's, yeah. Well, yeah, he's a CEO. I'm gonna say it's his, even though it's not. But what do you guys think of this? I think it was basically asking for trouble. Like, why do this?
Well, obviously, I think he's very frustrated that the fact that this kid, how old was this kid anyway? Do you know? Like, he said teenager. Like, he's a minor, clearly, but is
He's
he
a minor, yeah.
like 16, 15,
17?
Okay, 7. He's basically an adult. All right, come on.
He's a minor with 50,000 separate hacking convictions.
Yeah, and he actually even made a bomb threat on an airplane, and the airplane had to land.
Airplane. He hacked the airplane and called it a bomb threat.
But I
feel,
mean,
yeah.
Go on.
I just feel like you should be able to get away with this. Like, I feel like we live in a society where these cyber crimes and being able to shut down websites with DDoS attacks and SWAT people. You call the police saying there's bomb threats there and stuff. This seems to be acceptable now. It happens. You hear about it on Reddit and stuff all the time.
Actually, he did that too. He did the swatting thing. Now that you mentioned it.
Swatting is definitely.
But how do they get away with this?
Resources.
This is such it seems to be it's almost like a prank now. You can just do it and ruin someone's life as a prank.
But why ask for it? Obviously what he did is wrong, and he didn't get away with it. He still got sentenced. It's just I guess in Finland, they didn't really the judge or whatever didn't see fit to put him in jail for this offense.
Some kid who did 50,000 cyber crimes.
Right, but we don't know the details of their legal system. And
that's true.
I mean, and this guy, I think it was kind of baseless threat he made too. How is he going to take a 17-year-old kid in Finland to a civil court in America? So I think he was just. Anyway, so what's funny is then Lizard Squad started hacking the Smedley's games, and then they tweeted back to him and said the only way we'll stop is if Smedley travels to Finland and bows before that 17-year-old. Clearly he's not going to do that, but it's just funny the back and forth.
Funny.
Yeah.
I think.
Go.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I think it was a pretty reckless move on the CEO's part. I can understand his frustration. I can understand that it's kind of messed up what happened to him, but the issue is what he did on Twitter is not going to do anything.
Exactly, it's basically
he could have just done it in the shadows, and he could have just done it in that way.
It's beating his chest.
Yeah, he's beating his chest. It's unbecoming for a CEO. He's supposed to be the professional.
Well, he's
adult.
the former chief. He's not the CEO.
Oh, he's not the
I think-
CEO?
He's the former Sony and online entertainment chief.
No,
He's the
he still
president of
works there.
Daybreak.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
still
president
still
of
works there.
Daybreak.
Oh, yeah. So he's ahead of that. Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah,
Shurelya.
mistakes were made. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's the professional. He's supposed to be like he's supposed to keep his head cool when shit hits the fan. You know, he's a paid professional, and the other guy's a kid. So you definitely have a point there. He can be frustrated, but he's got to be the responsible one at the end.
The adult.
But the adult goes on Twitter and calls him a shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Shows you you can talk shit on Twitter and still become president. So follow your dreams, kids.
I mean, I'm not saying that he should not seek action. I just think that it's unactionable what he did. It doesn't contribute to his cause.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely not.
I just think
Yeah.
this cyber stuff should be more like punished. Like being able to just take down a website or swat somebody, like these can ruin someone's life or like really scare them.
I know eventually it probably will be, but it's a logistical nightmare
Yeah, that's
for the moment.
it's the internet.
So-
You can do whatever you want there. It's the Wild West.
Man, I feel bad for Smedley. I'm reading some of the details now. So basically, the Lizard Squad had over 50 false credit applications submitted in his name. So now he has to deal with this nonsense day in and day out.
Okay, Lizard Squad, I love you guys. I'm kidding. You guys should not go to jail. You guys should get rewarded. Just don't hack me, please.
Yes, just don't threaten these guys.
You guys are awesome. Okay, just
Yeah,
keep
I mean,
screwing
you
that
don't
guy.
have to agree with what Lizard Squad is doing, but why provoke their ire on purpose?
yeah.
if you're a public
that's
figure.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Do not feed the trolls. Okay.
Exactly,
It
exactly.
applies so much in this case.
Yeah.
Everybody should take an exam before they go on the internet. And the first question is about what do you do when you come across a troll? And that's the answer. You don't feed them. a lot of issues would be solved if we all knew that.
All right, let's move on from this. Anyway, that's a fun read. I'll put it in the notes. You guys.
I got a bit of key news, some very important news that touches me at the heart. League of Legends released a new champion, and the new patch came out, which buffed my favorite champion, Singed. So
oh
yes,
boy,
I
here
am
we go.
I am quite ecstatic about that because anytime a new patch comes out for League of Legends, the first thing I do is I look for Singed changes because that's all that matters to me. So I found out that he's getting I think 1.25 higher magic resist at level 1, slightly higher base magic resist. Not that much. But more importantly, he's also getting like 1.25 bonus magic resist every single level. So at level 18, you get like plus 20 bonus magic resist. And that's a game changer, gaining extra magic resist every level. And his snare got increased from 1 second to 2 seconds with this fling. So big changes for him. We also have a new hero, the fish guy. He eats people.
The
Tahm
fish guy.
Kench. The fish guy. I've actually yet to see the
Fish.
champion select. I've yet to see the champion spotlight for him, but I've seen him in game already. So he eats people.
I have a quick question about League. In Dota, when they add a new hero, they don't include him in the captain's mode, which is the competitive mode, for a while until he's tested in regular games. Does League do this as well, or can you pick him in the competitive mode right away?
You can pick him.
You can pick
right
him right
away.
away.
Okay, I see.
That's
All right.
actually I like Dota's approach on that because honestly, always the new champions are never balanced from the get go. Like if you
He
look
does
at
get
Echo,
banned.
if you look at Echo when he first launched, he was banned like every game because like he was so broken, and they really nerfed him pretty hard recently. So I mean, they had to make it fair. So I think it's a good approach Dota takes.
Yeah, I agree.
But does Dota make really cool champion spotlights for new champions or heroes?
No, they don't.
That's right. We got champion spotlights.
I think Riot's way more hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciate. So they're doing a lot right, and a lot wrong. But
No replay system yet,
Yeah.
obviously. Come on, what are you waiting for? Shoot, you're the Riot guy. What's going on?
What, the replays?
Yeah, shoot, it's on you. Okay, you.
I mean,
I can't believe anybody else in this call except you. Okay, you work
I
there.
mean, I don't know, because it's like it's been so long. You have so many resources. I don't understand. Like there has to be some kind of technical thing keeping them from doing that. But then again, that's still not an excuse with the amount of resources and the amount of people that they have. I mean, they should be able to do that by now. I don't know what's going on, especially since there's already like another one.
Yeah.
Like there's like a replay system out, like a LoL replay.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm trying to figure out like what exactly is it? I mean, I would imagine the issue has to do with patching, right? So you patch the game and then like it'll break your replays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still.
But then still, I mean, it's like I said. I mean, they have so many resources, so many people. Why hasn't this been expedited? Or unless maybe somebody might have made a call, higher up that it wasn't important. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, right?
Yeah, but at least they buff Singed. That's what matters in life, all right? Singed changes. All right, moving along.
I got something that's on the MOBA front.
Mhm.
So Smite raised $640,000 since April for their championship through the sale of some crowdfunding stuff for their pot. And apparently on this pace, they're set to pass last year's 2 million total prize pool.
Wow. So
Yeah.
a game like Smite having like over $2 million prize pool, that's also like, what is League doing? Dropping the ball on the esports stuff too now.
Well, another interesting change is the split. They want to make, basically they want the money, well, however much they get. Let's say it's 2 million. They want to split it among more teams. So for example, last year, the top 4 teams got over 90% of the total prize pool.
Wow.
And they want to make it this year that even the worst team gets like 10,000.
It'll encourage more like, more people to compete for the pro games then.
Yeah.
Because the top teams probably already make a lot of money from sponsorships and stuff. I feel like in esports especially, if you're not a top like 5 team, top 6 team, you really fight for the scraps.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
It's rough.
And on the same front, Dota, the prize pool for that is now over 16 million.
Oh my God, $16 million. Guys, what are we doing on this podcast? Why are we not playing Dota?
All right, cancel the podcast.
Cancel the podcast, guys.
We got some training to do.
I'll play Pudge mid. We got this, all right?
Actually, on the Dota front, my brother and I are going to be in Seattle for the Dota TI5 World Championships in the first week of August, which is actually coming up now. I think
Wow.
we're 2 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going to be in Seattle for a week.
Wait, is everyone going on vacation at the same time?
Yeah, I'm going to Georgia.
Wait,
Oh, wow.
wait.
Same
When
time.
is this next? I'm gonna be gone in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Where you
I'm
going?
Where are you going?
I am going to Alaska.
Whoa.
My favorite state.
That's kind of
Favorite
close to
state.
Seattle.
Actually, I will be in Seattle. I'll be stopping there, and
Oh,
then
yeah?
I'll be
At the airport?
taking
Oh.
the big boat to Alaska.
Oh, a boat. Dang,
A
you
boat.
fancy.
Alaskan cruise?
Yeah, I'm going on an Alaskan
Oh, it's
cruise
gonna be
with my
beautiful.
mom and my grandma. So I will be gone for a week,
Wow.
a week and a
No.
half.
The only thing I know that comes from Alaska is those Alaskan king crabs, all right?
Oh,
Good
delicious.
Salmon,
shit.
salmon too.
Salmon, yeah, that's some salmon.
Yeah.
I've never been to Alaska. It seems kind of a cool place, though.
I'd like
Get
to.
it? Literally a cool place.
Oh,
That's why
Get
I
this guy
like
outta
it,
here.
man. I just like sleep on the little balcony, just
Mhm.
it's cold as hell. I love it.
Yo, the podcast will have to convene from the cruise ship from our hotel room, all right?
yeah, we got to figure something
Alright.
out. Maybe we'll take a week off if we can't figure it out.
I mean, I can use my phone because my phone. Dude, oh, I have a crazy story by the way. Like
Yeah.
I was out so I was actually in Alaska last year,
Mhm.
and I was in the boat, and we were like, kind of like we were in the middle of nowhere, and I still had internet off of my phone. I had no idea like how that even works. Like
Huh.
it was literally like I look around me, there's like islands,
Mhm.
like little islands with like just trees, and there's like nothing. I look to the other side, there's just trees.
What
And
is
we're
true
just in
as
the
a
middle
market?
of like a strait, like a not really a strait, but like it's kind of off the coast a little bit,
Mhm.
and it's just nothing there. And like somehow I still had internet. Like I was like even streaming it to like to Django. It's like
It's because the new technology. See, what they do is they get the cell towers and they tape them onto like fish. All right, they put them on the sharks and the whales. See, it's
The nautical towers, huh?
nautical towers. Yeah, that's how it works. How else do you explain it?
it's pretty
Show us your
good.
explanation.
The narwhal's horn actually bounces the signal.
Oh,
That's how you-
Narwhals swimming in the ocean.
Oh, you might see a narwhal if you're on a boat in that area.
My life will be complete if I
I
see a
didn't-
narwhal.
I've seen
I
whales.
think they're more north.
Did you guys know that besides humans, the top predator of moose are killer whales?
Of moose?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I read
Not
that
too many
too.
things are killing moose.
How does that happen?
They walk between islands because they're so tall. They can go in like the water, like the ocean, between the islands,
Uh huh.
and then the whales eat them.
They just like slide up on top of the thing and just like
I mean, no, the moose walks from island to island through the water. So
wait on the floor or
yeah, like a
They're
or
big.
swims.
like kind of swims, like swims. So
Oh,
then
shit.
the whales, the killer whales, go nom nom nom.
Yeah, not much else can kill them. They have a lot of strength. They got a lot of constitution, all right? They got
Do
big
those
rolls
things
on their
gank
stats.
people? Do they gank people? Like if you like went for a swim and you get
I
ganked by
actually
a
did just
killer
find
whale?
a video of a
I
dude
don't think
getting
killer whales
ganked by a
attack
killer
humans.
I think they would but I don't think anyone swims in the area. There's pretty isolated areas, right, where the moose are.
whale. Well,
Yeah.
Shamu is a nice and loving creature, okay?
Here's Shamu eating a man. So
Really? Oh, we got to include this in the video.
Wait, what?
I'm so watching this.
let's see if
Is
it's
this real?
accurate.
Is this a
think-
troll video? Are you
Watch
trolling
when
me?
you send a video, you got to timestamp it to the right moment.
Oh, sorry guys, it's a troll video.
Guys, we're getting a little bit distracted from.
All right. Back to MMOs news. Let's see. Oh well, Trove finally is officially released now, and it's on Steam.
Ooh.
And Trove is a sandbox voxel block building game by Tryon Worlds.
Mhm.
And I played this one. I think Shurelya played this, right?
Trove, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did the first look of it.
So
Pretty fun game.
yeah, it's third person, and it's what I found is it's pretty fast paced, and you actually have a sense of direction / progression. Like you always know what to do, which is something I feel is missing in a lot of these sandbox games.
Oh, definitely.
Mhm.
It just most of those
Yeah.
games are here you go. Here's all the building elements. Go figure everything out and have fun.
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
I think is okay for like the first generation of games. Like Minecraft, really, that was basically what Minecraft is. And these newer games, including like SkySaga, has more direction, which I think can help expand the genre.
So that's another thing. We just uploaded a SkySaga video, Omer and I.
Yep.
And it's a very similar game to Trove, and I really want to see how how they do compared to each other. SkySaga is first person, and in my opinion, the graphics are better, like cleaner, brighter, crisper.
SkySaga.
Yeah, it's basically just think Trove. It was basically Trove. Like it's almost the exact same game. So I'm really curious to see how those two do. From my limited experience on both, and also SkySaga's not out yet. It's alpha. My vote goes to SkySaga. I think I had more fun with that.
I think Trove's doing pretty well right now, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Trove is one of the top games on Steam at the moment.
So it's doing awesome.
Yeah,
so.
they actually opened new servers, and Tryon Worlds said that they were really surprised and happy with the performance so far. So it's not a bad game, and it's doing well. But I just want to see how it does compared to SkySaga when it actually comes out.
Whatever happened to Cube World? That was like the grandfather of these games.
Yeah, that's right. That one.
It just died.
It just got abandoned 2 years ago.
We talked
Everyone-
about this a few podcasts ago.
Yeah,
Really?
everyone freaking what do you call it? Like bought that game early access too.
Early
Ton of people
access,
did.
founders packs. That's like, I wrote an article on scamming in MMOs, and like one guy commented on Reddit, the biggest scam in MMOs aren't the player-run scams. It's called early access and founders packs. And in a way, I agree.
Gumby, you wrote something about that too, right?
I did, and I should have made the title a little different because people thought I was talking about an early access release for a new Burnout game.
So what was the title?
But it was
What
actually
the title?
The new title is The Tragedy of Early Access Burnout, and it's just how developers screw themselves by releasing games, and they're incomplete, so we all play them, do the hype, and then we get our fill and leave, and we never come back. Because I would say that early access, when used right, when a game is released closer to its full release, it can do well, but when a game like, say, DayZ, that's unoptimized, comes out, people feel cheated, and then your game's population quickly dwindles, and you run the risk of never recovering your player base, like Toxic.
I mean, yeah, continue.
Toxic was my example because Toxic started with like 1,000 players, and now 6 months later, the 30-day average is 7. So
What?
in 6 months, it's a pretty quick. Now it is still early access, but when it was released, there just wasn't enough content to keep people there. So developers, if you can afford it, just wait, please.
The way you named the article "Early Access Burnout," so when people see it, when people saw it, they thought, "Wow, did they make a Burnout game in early access?"
No, but it's because I saw a comment on Reddit calling it early access Burnout, and then I didn't think of a Burnout series.
But that's a legitimate complaint because even though it says early access, a lot of people they skip past that like disclosure. You know, they expect. I mean, they don't expect a full game, but they expect something like pretty solid. And when they don't get that, they're gone. You know, even if they pay for the game, they're gone, and they're not going to come back even after the game is better.
The big rebuttal is that, oh, you know what you're buying, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine for rational people, but people aren't rational, and when they buy something, they want to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
You don't order vanilla ice cream with sprinkles and then just get a cup of sprinkles and you're happy. You want the full package.
I like that analogy. It's pretty good.
Ice cream analogies make everything more
Yeah,
palatable.
always go for ice cream.
All right.
Well,
Well,
here's a quick question. Are there any games that are currently in early access that you're looking forward to?
But there's a bunch. I have a lot of early access games. Let me look at my list here.
Alright,
Rust.
Is that still
Yeah.
early access?
Rust is still early
Yeah.
access.
Oh
yes.
my god.
But Rust again.
DayZ.
Okay, I'll throw one out. The Spooky's House of Jump Scares is still in early access because it's free to play anyway, so there's really no downside to playing the early access.
Yeah, that's fair. If it's free, you're allowed to be in early access. That's my rule.
Project Zomboid. Love that game.
You gave that game raving reviews.
I did because I think it's the only true zombie survival game. Every other zombie survival game pales in comparison to Project Zomboid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sean, would you consider yourself a zombie aficionado?
I actually fucking hate zombies. I know we're an E-rated channel, but that was needed. Yeah, I really think zombies are overdone, but for some reason, Zomboid did it right, and so it can be done right, and then I'm happy. But I think zombies are cliche. Give up.
Move on.
Move on to something else, please.
No, but since Walking Dead, zombies are in. Okay, there's no escaping them. They'll be
know.
around for a while. They got mainstream again. Vampires are vampires still in? You're the resident girl. Are you still into vampires?
Vampires? I've actually never been into vampires.
What?
To be honest,
Wow.
It's not never been my thing.
I've actually went through a vampire phase, guys.
Why'd you
Really?
I heard watch True Blood, didn't you?
Yeah, I binge watched that shit.
Wow.
Is it good? I mean, I've been
mean,
thinking about watching it. Just to
I think it's good.
see
You gotta
Vampire
give it a few.
sex.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into the whole sex thing, obviously, like girls
Yeah, I'm not into the sex bar. I'm just watching the porn for the story.
are. No, it's not. I just like the whole vampire, like the fact that like they're really powerful, but they have certain weaknesses that if you know, you can exploit. Like I just like that dynamic.
I mean, I would hope so. That's good characterization.
Yeah,
It's like you need characters that are weak, have weaknesses.
exactly. But no, but not just in a show. But like, I still is there any good like vampire versus like werewolf kind of like game like imagine like a survival game where one side are humans and one side are vampires. Basically, during the day, the humans have to build up, right? Because the vampires can't come out.
And at night, they stay in their house because they can't come in unless they're invited in. GG, they win.
No, and then the vampires have to basically pretend to be humans to get invited in to players' houses and stuff. Or
Here's
like,
a trick: don't invite anybody. If they forcefully come in, you know they're not a vampire. That's a test.
No,
Okay,
but
I just figured it out.
No, but I think it'd be kind of cool in like a sandbox survival setting. But anyway,
Aren't like actual vampires like kind of weak sauce? Like I feel like their weaknesses are kind of like game breaking weakness. Like if you can't come to somebody's house, how do you kill them?
in pubs, like public places, like taverns, bars.
Yeah, you gotta stalk the night, you know.
But what if the tavern says you have to be invited in? It's a high end tavern.
Well, that's the thing. They can come into any public place, and most commercial places are public.
Could they come into Costco without a membership?
Oh, that's
So you need that membership.
That's a good vampire question. All right.
So you
might
have
be a
everyone
paradox.
living in a Costco. That's how we in this game.
That
Easy.
is- the
Yeah,
Costco-
guys,
Easiest game of my life.
They can apply for membership, but one of the rules could be no vampires allowed.
Then they can't come in.
Cancel this podcast. Let's all go to Costco. I'm feeling it.
I love
I'm feeling a
Costco.
trampoline right now.
Get some of those samples, you know, like don't need go there with an empty stomach, leave with free, you know.
All the free
All for
food,
free.
the free samples are your appetizers, and then you get the $1 hot dog, and you're good to go.
Oh yes.
That's the plan. That's how you
That's the dream.
the dream.
Just leaving Costco off the appetizers and the free stuff.
They have some really legit samples at Costco though. They're like really good.
Well, they had
always-
sushi once. I ate like 5 pieces of sushi for free.
Holy crap.
When I get a sample, I eat it in front of the sample person. I'm like, where can I get this? Can you point it out to me so it looks like I'm more involved, right? And they'll point it out, I'm like, thank you, and I don't get it, obviously, but
I don't bother with that because I don't think that guy cares.
I
don't think.
I gotta make it seem like I'm interested, all right? Otherwise, I feel bad about taking like free samples. All right, moving on.
All right.
We got some shutdown news this week, unfortunately. Some news from Maya Entertainment. So RaiderZ is shutting down in August.
That's RaiderZ with a Z, guys.
Yes, we're not rating with an S. We're rating with a Z. We're the cool kids now, all right?
I like how it's like capitalized. It's like the capital R and then Aiders and then the capital Z at the end.
That's the whole
legit.
spiel
Stylish.
for all their games. Yeah.
Now, RaiderZ is developed by Maya Entertainment, and it seems to be the game is shutting down because Maya, they also make guns and GunZ Duel. It's because apparently Maya is no longer in business. They're no longer in operation. So apparently GunZ Duel was a complete flop.
I knew it. You guys were defending it.
I still think it's a pretty,
I
pretty good
wasn't.
game.
I wasn't.
All
I
right.
wasn't.
I got a lot of
not-
hate. I got a lot of hate on this one. On the.
Yeah,
on
I
the-
found there was a Steam thread on Guns 2, right, in the Guns area about our video for Guns 2, and like the Guns elitists were hating on you, Shu and Erhan.
Well, haters
Wow.
gonna hate.
Yeah,
On
they were
me?
hating on you specifically, like because you weren't like you couldn't run on the wall and shit, and they were hating on you. But the game has some like of the like fast-paced elements of the first game, like running on wall, jumping off, like doing some kind of like fancy maneuvers, but it still doesn't have all the crazy stuff of the first game. And I
It's
guess
been a while since I've played the old one, but I remember like you could. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. You know what I'm talking about? Where you jump on the wall and then you jump off the wall and then you cancel your animation with a slash and then you can dash forward.
yeah,
to the
yeah,
wall.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that I was trying to do that and like I couldn't do it. I was like, okay.
There's some stuff like that you can do. It requires a little more finesse, but like it's
Oh,
not the
yeah.
same still. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna know how to do it after
Yeah.
one day. You know,
I mean,
I didn't look up
I
anything.
mean, if I think a game is bad, guys, I'm just gonna come out and say it. You know. So.
Yeah, it's in our ethics policy. You have
Exactly.
to.
Yeah. This
Wait,
is no sugarcoating here. All right. You're
if a game,
the
in
truth.
terms of our ethics policy, guys, there's a company like a lot of websites get like criticism over like advertising and stuff. Like if a game sucks, we're just gonna call it out. And if they offer to pay us to say it doesn't suck, we'll take their money and then say it sucks, right? And then we'll expose them for trying to pay us if that happens. All right, we'll let you guys know if somebody wants to pay us to like change our shit because we're not gonna do that. We'll
but,
find
but
it
if you're
funny.
a company that wants to pay us, you didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that, okay? Just
You didn't hear that.
we'll take your money.
We'll still promote your game. You know, like we'll do videos for it and like
We'll just make fun of it the whole
yeah.
time.
I mean, yeah. We'll still give you exposure. We just won't. You know.
Hey, check it out.
Why?
If you pay a little bit more, I will tell you how to make your game better. We
Ooh.
will. The MMOs team.
Consulting.
We will consult
An
you and tell
invaluable
you how to make
service.
your game not suck.
We will, of course, want stock options.
But I mean, I
as
think that's
usual.
fair. I think you can say like you can criticize a game, but then still promote it, like give it visibility. Because even if I don't like a game, as long as I'm playing it and showing we're showing videos, someone who likes what they see can still try it, and they might like
Yeah.
it.
Somebody always likes
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
that's-
Just because we don't like a game doesn't mean it's just bad for
Right.
everyone. Yeah.
I like Sean's suggestion. We need stock options for every game for these games. All right, give
Yeah,
to our
that's-
users.
It's implicit. It's in very small text in the contract.
By having us consult for your game, we actually own your game.
Wow. Good deal.
We'll pull the wool over their eyes. But so look, the official news now is RaiderZ is shutting down. There's not any news on Guns 2 yet because Guns 2 is still on Steam, and their last update was on June 8th on Steam. Like in terms of what they published news wise. So there's not any word about Guns 2 yet, but I suspect Guns 2 will also shut down. I mean,
Probably.
RaiderZ shut down in Europe and Korea like in 2013. It's been gone for like years. For some reason, Perfect World and Arc Games they're keeping the NA version going for a while, but it's set to close in the next month, and that's always unfortunate seeing a game shut down.
It's unfortunate, but in a way, it kind of clears the field. You know, like how you,
That's true.
yeah, sometimes you need a fire, like a forest fire, to regenerate
Whoa.
the forest.
It's a bit fierce. It's supposed to be
That's a bit violent there.
one door closes and another door opens.
Right.
I like
Exactly.
Sean's version. Not we gotta create forest fires.
No, we're not gonna create them.
We won't
you
stop
guys-
them.
If the
alright?
forest is burning already.
You guys want to start a fire? I'm down. Anytime.
I'm curious. I've never lit something on fire like with malice. All right, I kind of want to try it
With malice. Wow.
with malice.
Well, you're old enough. Now's the time.
Now's the time. You can take me out to an arson trip.
We'll go MMOs donator party. We're gonna go light things on fire.
But this makes me like my brother and I talked about something earlier. Imagine like a virtual world museum. Like think about when Raider shuts
Oh.
down for good, right? Like it was a pretty big game world. You had so many environments, there's different zones, like iconic cities, music, and these will be gone forever. Because I don't think that there are any private servers for Raiders.
Nope.
So these worlds will literally be gone forever.
Mm.
We strive to preserve like ancient cultures and stuff that like let's be real nobody cares about, right? Like some obscure ancient cultures, but why not preserve MMO worlds?
Yeah. This is
I
the
think
MMO
eventually,
archive.
the Museum of Science Fiction proposed something similar. It was for their museum, but I'm sure when VR tech is better, you will start seeing something like that.
Like it
Travel
doesn't be
through vanilla
interactive.
EverQuest.
Just have
No,
the
no.
world saved, yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
I think it'd be awesome because like, in like 20 years from now, like when WoW is gone, when like all these games that we have today are gone, it's just all those worlds, the characters, the iconic cities and stuff will be gone, and I think it'd be a little bit sad to lose all
You're
that.
highlighting a problem with all digital information,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that It's easily erasable.
I think the problem will be especially like in these smaller games like RaiderZ and a lot of these MMOs, the free-to-play games that shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Fly for Fun, when that eventually shuts down, I don't think anyone's gonna try preserving it.
No, but that one's got a bajillion private servers anyway, so that one I think is
World
gonna
of
live on.
Warcraft.
Yeah, WoW, for example, I think will be fine because
Yeah.
I think Shu just linked earlier a video. They actually want to write a whole book series on the lore from World of Warcraft. So
Yep.
there's a nice ecosystem already being built around certain games like World of Warcraft, like Star Trek also has like dozens of novels based in that world. So some will naturally be preserved. It's the ones that aren't quite as popular that I think need our
You mean the vast majority?
exactly.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like ancient Egypt, everyone knows about ancient Egypt, but there's like dozens of civilizations besides those that no one knows about, you know.
But they still strive to like save those. You know, we should
Exactly.
We got to start a non-profit to preserve MMO worlds. All right.
Wow. We'll start a Patreon, all right?
So and then it'll be like an early access. Okay, you give us money, and then we just don't do anything, and then we keep it. Right?
Oh,
Don't
good.
worry, it's in pre-alpha. It's coming
Pre-alpha,
out.
exactly. Like alpha is when the game is barely playable. So if you have pre-alpha, it's just nothing.
Pre-alpha.
Pre-alpha is like when we got the idea going. There's no
So you
concept.
can buy Lord British's new game pre-alpha for $35.
Oh my
Anyone's
God.
really enthusiastic.
I like Lord British because I like Ultima Online, but I refuse to participate in this racket of early access and pre-early access and pre-betas.
Well,
Wait,
you know,
there's a pre-early access now?
Yes.
That is like
Yeah.
the most bullshit thing ever. Oh my god, dude.
they should sell pre-early access retail boxes. It's just it's an empty box. It's just cardboard with nothing in it.
So Sean, you were saying about like digital media. Like I feel like a lot of digital media, like TV shows and movies, are all like saved on the internet. So that stuff I think
That's-
we'll have forever.
The TVs and movies are they're
Not
they're a
forever.
bit different. But it's a different kind of digital
I can download
information because a
1920
video
movies.
game like an MMO requires there's an interaction between you and
Yeah.
the server.
But old
for it to
games too, like
exist.
emulators, you can download any SNES game, Game Boy game. Those will be preserved, I think, for even
Yes.
there are NES games and pre-NES games. Those are all forever be archived
mean-
in history.
Well, that's what he's
internet.
saying.
I've got
those
every
are-
NES game.
Those are
Yeah.
one way, you know, it's just you and
Yeah.
the software. Well,
Mhm.
MMOs require the middleman,
The
server,
world, yeah.
And of course, if computing gets more powerful, you could just do it yourself eventually. Maybe.
Perhaps. And you know, you were saying the Mate and Raider shutting down was like bad news or sad
I think
news?
it's bad news. Yeah,
Or sad news? Well, here's some real sad news. The CEO of Nintendo,
yeah.
Iwata,
Yeah.
he passed
I heard about
away.
this.
at a
Yeah,
relatively
it
young
was
age,
sad.
actually. I think it was 55,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty young, especially, you know.
Does anyone know what happened?
Bile duct cancer, something like that.
Yeah, I
Cancer's a
forgot the
tough one.
specific name.
Yeah.
That's just like the RNG of life. Sometimes you really get screwed. You get a bad roll.
You know, I didn't realize how gifted he was. He was an excellent programmer, and he like they were struggling to port Pokemon to the first Pokemon Coliseum, and he just
Yeah.
looks at the code and he's just like, "Oh, this is what we gotta do. This, and this," and he just
Wow.
You
You
realize,
was able to
like,
help
you
speed up
realize all the
development
battle mechanics like right away.
immediately. Yeah, the
Wow.
guy was a genius.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. I didn't really,
Not only was he like a programming genius, he's actually what saved Nintendo in like 2006 when like their sales were floundering. He's the one that he made the transition between like Game Boy to DS, and DS was arguably the most successful Nintendo product. And he pushed for wide acceptance of gaming beyond like hardcore with the Wii. And the first Wii and DS are the two most successful products Nintendo has like ever made.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow. Yeah.
And those two like literally saved the company almost, like basically.
Yeah, I was mentioning that he also presided during the GameCube time,
Mhm.
which wasn't as good financially, so he took a lot of hits for that. But I like the GameCube era. Like there were some really good games in that time.
The
So,
Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
the cube was pretty good.
Yeah. So that's like Nintendo.
It's
Yeah.
actual sad news.
Yeah. See, that's sad. It's not Raider shutting
Yeah,
down. Who
that's
Who cares
You,
about
you had to one up my sad news with like actual sad news. That's low.
that's pretty it's a pretty big hit for
Yeah.
Japanese gaming, I think.
So I think in the interim CEO is gonna be their main guy, the Shigeru Mayo. I can't say
yeah.
his name, but that guy,
Wow.
the Nintendo guy. What's his
Nintendo
name?
guy.
The Mario guy.
Yeah,
main
the guy made all that kind of characters,
Yeah,
right?
the main guy.
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto, that's
Miyamoto.
it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be interim CEO along with some other guy until they find someone.
Mhm.
So I'm sure they'll be fine.
And also, this guy is the one that pushed for the mobile gaming. I mean, he
Oh.
realized that mobile gaming is the future, and you need to do it.
Yeah.
In a future video game history class, you will certainly learn about Satoru Iwata. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
You know what's really interesting about Nintendo though? Just a thought. So when the Nintendo system comes out, there's a lot of people that like hardcore Nintendo fans that will purchase the system based on the software that they are gonna have for their specific system, and also just because of its ease of use. So one thing that you think about when you're gonna buy a new system is you see a lot of people in the camp of, am I gonna buy an Xbox or a PlayStation? Nintendo's like somewhere else on the left side. You know what I mean? Like it's never
Yeah.
like a binary of, do I get a PlayStation or do I get a Nintendo? Like people don't usually think of it that way, you know?
You're right.
Because they have their yeah.
Yeah, it's complementary. Like that doesn't compete with them directly.
Yeah, and that's a really really interesting like
Position there.
Wait,
Never thought of that.
because
it's smart,
Nintendo used to be binary, right? It was like, are you a Nintendo person or are you a Sega person? Like which one are you? You Nintendo or are you gonna get a PlayStation? You know what I mean? It used to be like that. And then, you know, Xbox came in and then Nintendo kind of just took a step back and was just like, you guys can go fight over there and we will have our fun games over here. Right? And that's pretty neat. Like that, the way they steered their business in that direction, I think is interesting.
I think Nintendo
Yeah,
has the
wow.
most iconic characters of any like video game like franchise because they're like a first party developer and a hardware company, and they have some.
Uh-huh.
Those characters are gonna be around like I think forever. And there was actually people were talking about like Disney wanting to buy Nintendo eventually because Disney's all about the characters. That's why they bought Marvel. You know, all those
Right.
the Marvel universe expanded Disney's like lineup of characters for their theme parks and their movies and their games. And Nintendo's got the same like level of iconic characters as Marvel, I think, at least. Like they have such an array of characters, and it'd be awesome
Yeah.
for Disney.
Huh.
I'd
I
argue
never thought of that.
Kids know more about. I'd argue that kids know more about Mario than they do about Marvel.
Yeah. So I think it would give Disney like a way to like connect with kids from a young age till they get to the superhero age, till they get they'll have everything then. But this is just speculation. There's no actual confirmation anything like that will happen. But there have been rumors that Disney would want to buy Nintendo.
It seems like
It's
a good fit
smart
on the
move,
face
but
value.
it's-
I think it'd be an awesome move too for them. I think Nintendo's an awesome
Expensive
company.
though.
Yeah,
Nintendo's
Nintendo's pretty expensive.
It's about a $20 billion company as of today, whereas like Disney is massive.
I see
Massive.
what you mean. They have the resources to do it.
Yeah, Disney's worth $200 billion.
Not
the-
to get
but the
technical
question-
here, but a lot of these Japanese companies, especially when foreign companies are involved, they have like poison pill policies, which is like
Yeah.
basically they dilute the shareholders so they can't take control. Like,
Yeah, they don't want Westerners to own their big brands.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like they're gonna have some trouble with actually if they wanted to acquire Nintendo. I don't think that would go down like
No.
very very quietly.
Wasn't the CEO of Sony like a white guy? But he kind of sucked, and they hired another Japanese.
Yeah,
guy.
he was some like British guy.
They're like, okay, so we're doing really bad. Let's hire a white guy. Maybe he'll know what to do, right? And then the white guy
Let him
just
take the
sucked.
fall.
And he just sucked.
Wow.
I don't know if he sucked, but they replaced him pretty quickly with some current guy who was doing very well apparently.
Sony's weird too. Here's a question. Well, Sony sold the Sony Online Entertainment which became Daybreak, and obviously they still have PlayStation, which is doing well. But is Sony even like a gaming company, or is it like a conglomerate? How do you guys think of Sony as a gaming company?
I-
I always think of the hardware, and then they publish games. I don't know.
I never really thought of it as a gaming company.
The common conception, I don't think, is a gaming company. They're too
Surprisingly,
diverse.
they're not. But as a Westerner, we see them as a gaming company because in Japan they do like insurance. Like that's like a big part of their business, insurance.
Uh-huh.
Like all these financial services are like they make more money through that than I bet than they make in PlayStation. Like they sell TVs and stuff too.
I can just imagine that you open your PS4 to play Call of Duty. It says, "Would you like some health insurance?" Don't never go into the battlefield without proper coverage.
There's like a bundle. It's like you get the health insurance, you get this limited item.
You get like a special edition.
Special health insurance avatar with like the logo. Exclusive. But going back to what you said earlier though, Omer, it's like Xbox and Sony don't really have the characters.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Not even close. Like I mean, they have like Crash Bandicoot or whatever.
That's it.
It's so
That's
old
it,
too
right?
now. They don't even have that anymore.
Microsoft owns like the studio that makes Halo, and that's something. But Halo is just like one game. It's not like a repertoire of characters.
Yeah.
And what is Sony's got like partners with like Square Enix and stuff. They don't even own the characters themselves. So Nintendo's the only one that actually owns like a huge franchise of characters, which I think is
That's
invaluable. Like every year they can release Donkey Kong game, they could do a Mario game, they can do a Kirby
Zelda.
game, they can do a Zelda. There's so many iconic characters they can work with.
They got it for like every
Yeah,
every
age group too.
demographic.
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
you got Pokemon for like
you got
kids,
Peach
right?
for the girls.
Yeah. Oh, the Peach sucks.
So
Whoa.
who here hasn't thought of a Pokemon MMORPG?
Yeah.
Everyone's thought of it.
Yeah, but it's never gonna happen. I don't know. They disappoint me so much on that.
It's like the
Well,
fail
what-
safe. It's like they're gonna pull a switch if Nintendo's ever in trouble, and the Pokemon MMORPG will be there.
It's like they need to like rescue them. Like, we need money, quick. What do we do? We got this secret plan, the Pokemon MMO.
They have like a little button at their HQ that has like the little plastic shield on top of it.
That's what I've always envisioned.
Just says Pokemon MMO, don't press, don't approve.
Don't break it unless it's emergency.
In case of emergency,
Yeah.
There are a whole bunch of
fan-made ones.
fan-made clones. Poke MMO is one.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried a couple of them.
Course.
Yeah, they're all unlicensed.
But this is the problem with like not embracing their IP. Like there are the knockoff ones, and even I did a video for a game called Bleach Online. It's like this knockoff Bleach game. It's an MMO, and of course the characters have like giant tits and like they're just sexualizing the characters to get more money. But like people play it because they love the Bleach anime. You know, they like the series, so they want to
Even if
play
the
a
game
game.
sucks.
The game is iffy. Let's leave it at that. It's iffy.
Here's the thing: is Nintendo doesn't need to make a Pokemon MMO. They're just gonna make more money just making them
Yeah.
for the DS or whatever the new 3DS. Sorry.
Here we go. I'm gonna bridge consoles and MMOs with this next piece of news.
Oh,
Oh
baby.
man.
Okay.
Elder Scrolls Online PS4 launch is actually a pretty big success.
Wow,
As you,
that's
wow.
cool.
yeah, ESO, as you guys probably know, launched onto PS4 a little while ago, and if you look at the PS4 game sales charts for like they're number one on everything. For like extra add-ons they sold, the number of how many purchases they've had. So right now they're rocking it since they launched.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm just looking at that right now. Actually, the PS4 version this week sold 178,000 copies on PS4
Wow.
and 147,000 copies on Xbox One. So it's
Gonna be huge.
300,000 copies. $60 a pop. That's good money.
There's actually a sale on Amazon for the PC version, I believe. They cut the price 33% for a little while to promote more people buying the game. And also, unlike Albion Online, some of these other games are aiming for like a mega server, like cross-platform compatibility. The consoles have their own separate versions, so that's a heads up.
Good.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
That's good.
Wow.
Look at these
I don't
PC
want-
master races.
I don't want any peasants.
Segregate
Peasants
the
on my
peasants.
servers.
Yeah, we talked
As a
about this.
player, though, that's kind of sucky. You know,
I
it's
think
like
so,
I want
too.
to play with my friends. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't play with you. You're a
Well,
filthy console player. You know, it's like
your friend
sucks.
should have,
That's
your friend should
exactly
have
what I
PC.
tell them.
Your friend should have good PCs if they want to play with you.
Are you saying like you can't be my friend anymore because you like?
Basically, if
If you buy an Xbox,
if
we
your
can't be
computer can't
friends.
run Elder Scrolls Online, I don't know if I want to be friends with you anymore.
Damn, look at this elitist right here.
Straight up.
Hey, I'm just calling it the way I sees it.
But like, I don't know how important this is to you guys, but if I want to play an MMORPG, it's such a big thing for it to be popular. Like, have a big player base. Like,
Yes,
why am I
I
playing a
agree.
game if it's not a big player base? So why
it gives it
segregate
life.
things? Why not keep them together and make it bigger?
I think the console players are going to be at a huge disadvantage. That's why, in terms of dungeons and PvP, because of the
Look
controller.
at Final Fantasy 14.
Exactly.
No, but first of all, can't you just hook up like a keyboard to those consoles anyway?
Oh,
Like,
come on. Who does that? Nobody does that.
they can sell more peripherals that way. Bada bing.
I don't think anyone's going to do that.
People don't play on console to use PC PC interface.
They want to sit on their couch. They don't have like
Yep.
a
Aaron and I had a PS2, and we bought a keyboard for our PS2.
You
okay?
two are outliers.
Yeah, we're outliers.
Far outliers.
We only did it for one reason, because like we had like a Game Shark, and like in order to use it, you need to like type all these codes, and it was
Oh, I
hella
know about
impossible with the gamepad, and that's all we did with it,
Man, cheating was so hard back then.
right?
It took hours
Cheating
to
was
like
hard.
put these codes in, and you'd like restart, open, and make a new save, and
Do you know
half
what the
the
best
time
cheat? Yeah, go.
it didn't even work half the time. Those codes.
The best codes were like when you launch the game for the first time, like an SNES game. You like up, left, right, A, B, B,
Oh,
select.
nice and
then-
simple.
or nice and simple, and it goes like hex unlocked, cheats unlocked.
Nice.
That was the way to cheat back then. You had to buy like those like Prima strategy guides and like the cheat books and stuff. The cheat magazine.
Get
went
the
to Cheap
Nintendo
CC.
Power
Yep.
with the Game Pro, Nintendo Power, and what was it?
We read
Electronic
like
Gaming Monthly.
We read
Oh, we
EGM
were subscribed to
era.
that. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh man,
that was our
I'm so
thing.
sad Nintendo Power is gone. That's such a good. What the hell?
Somebody's dying in the background.
Let me go check. That's my mom.
All right.
Oh. All right. Well, while she's gone, let's cover some more news real quick.
Mhm.
What do we got here? So this is interesting. There's a YouTuber. He did a 25-minute review of Black Desert, the Korean open beta, and basically until now, most of what I've seen video-wise was like just previews, like class preview,
Yeah.
this boss preview, whatever. This guy basically he kind of was critical in the game. He said basically it lacked content, and that despite he was looking forward to it, but it's basically just a pretty shell at this point.
He was critical about the end game content, but he still said like a lot of stuff was working for the game. It's just that they needed to polish the late game a lot.
That seems to happen a lot,
most of it.
though. Especially
Yeah.
for a beta game.
I mean, I don't know how much this guy plays like free to play, but that's pretty much part and parcel. The really involved free to end game content is not that deep in these games.
You're usually right, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how can they fix that? How could they make? So one guy asked me on the YouTube video in the comments, and we can ask everyone's opinion on this. How can you make free to play games or just MMORPG in general fun throughout? Because a lot of these games, they're designed to like kind of be a grind at the beginning to get to the mid late game where things start picking up. How can you make the whole experience better? You think?
I mean, the one thing to keep in mind is that the free-to-play model doesn't really cater to endgame. Doesn't seem to me. It's like, say, if I pay for... I don't know, actually. I need to think about this thought,
Okay,
so
I mean,
I'll pass for a second.
All right, you pass for a second. What can they do? I say honestly nothing. I think part of the appeal of MMORPGs is that kind of investment you put in.
No, I agree that the investment is key. Like one thing I liked, I'm gonna give two examples. All right, one is an older game and one is a newer game. The older one, like MapleStory back in the day, even like Big Bang or pre-Big Bang, one part of the game that I enjoyed was the skill progression. There was a real sense of improvement. Like you wanted to get your next job because you knew you could get stronger. Like that sense of strength and how much stronger you got. There was a real noticeable difference between job advancements.
Oh, one thing. Can I expand on that? What you said?
Okay, go ahead.
It's really, really, really fun too. Like it gives you like a sense of status within the community of like you've reached that. Like, I mean, let's just go back to Ragnarok for example, right? It's like
Oh god,
you know,
all roads lead to Ragnarok.
You're an acolyte, right? And then when you hit the point that you can turn into a priest, everyone can see, like, you know, you walk out of that chapel, everyone's like, that dude's a priest now, right? And like you can go up to your friends, check it out, guys, I'm a priest now, right? And like that gave you a real sense of accomplishment. But you don't see that a lot in games anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Usually you pick a class, you kind of stick with it, right? Or maybe you get some kind of specialization and then you get a couple things, but it's not like as huge a transition as like from acolyte to priest. It was like bam, you had like this whole new skill tree unlocked, right? It wasn't the same like that in games. And
Well, the games I think that pulled it off really well, like my brother mentioned MapleStory, yeah, but also holds true for WoW and even Diablo 3. You need to be able to see people near you.
Yes, I was going to say this.
That are
for
very
sure.
powerful. So you have
Yes.
you get an urge to keep going. Like if you step out of town in Diablo 2, like you join a random server 3, and you're killing these skeletons, right? And it takes you like a minute to kill a skeleton each. Like, and you see a guy run past you. He's the same class as you, but he's got like blades swirling around of him with an aura. He's got like lightning bolts flying from his weapon, and he just kills the skeletons in like a second each. You're like, wow, I can be that guy one day. And same in
This is
MapleStory,
so
same
true.
in WoW. In a game where you don't get that, you don't know what's ahead, so you don't look forward to it.
I agree with that.
What worked MapleStory was because when you left town, you see the guy like, you know, he's a high level walking by. He'll push one button and blow up the entire screen. You're like, oh my god, I can't wait until I can do that. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess we think a lot, like very similar because we're brothers. But the other game I wanted to mention, it's not exactly the same way, but this is another way to accomplish like take you from the beginning, early game to the end game. If you make it story driven, and like it doesn't have to be like a good story, but if you look at Neverwinter, I thought when you open up Neverwinter, you start playing, it's almost like a single player game for a while, but it's surprisingly fun. It's story driven in a fun way, and the quests are actually somewhat interesting. They don't overload you with the text, but the game it kind of holds your hand throughout the progression. And I thought it was done pretty well.
Well, don't forget the secret world, which is in the same league for a
Yeah.
story-driven narrative, and that's what I think I hold that in with the highest regards for a game I've played recently because of its story.
That's one of like the best stories in an MMORPG, like story-driven MMOs.
By the way, I think a problem with the lack of end-game content or sense of accomplishment is that the mentality we have towards these games has shifted to this Netflix binge mentality. We jump onto the next game, we play it for what it's worth, then we move on to the next one. And it doesn't seem like we don't go into games anymore with that mentality to invest our time. It's like, let's see what this one's about and then see if it's worth fiddling around with for a bit. I mean, I'm sure there's some people do, but
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of people are like, even on the subreddit, you know, there's a thread every week for what new MMORPG to play this week. You know, when you played Diablo 2, you were playing for months. I
That's
spent
a
a
good
year
point.
playing Diablo 2.
I spent like 5 years playing Diablo 2 or more.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting
you
for
come back.
that next MMO that's like that, you know. looking for my new Ragnarok, and I haven't
Looking
found
for the
it
new
yet.
I
addiction.
think we've all been looking for that new addiction since everyone quit WoW. I don't know where it's going to come from next, or if it even will.
I want to do a little comment highlight, just maybe a new feature later. This guy left a comment on MMOs.com on our Echo of Soul page. So, and I wanted to just read it out loud. I thought it was pretty interesting. Okay, he says, talking about the game being generic. Okay, and I think he described it pretty well. There's a problem a lot of games suffer with: get quest, skip dialogue, look at the arrow, walk to the quest, kill 2 monsters, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Generic incarnate. The game might be good, but after so much of the same shit in the past 50 MMORPGs, I'm pretty much done. Next.
Yeah.
How
Yes.
accurate is this comment?
I mean, it's 110% accurate. But it's a winning formula for these companies.
I mean, at some point, I think we're gonna have to settle. You know, like it's kind of like when you're becoming like middle and old age. Like if you want to get married, you can't wait for that perfect that soulmate
Wow.
anymore. I think I don't think that soulmate is out there. It's like when we were young, you know, we fell
getting
in love
deep.
too quickly. You
Look
know?
at this guy.
We're
This
like,
is
wow,
5
and-
deep through me.
Ragnarok. I think even if Arrow came out today, like something like it, people would just play for a week and quit. Like you guys were saying, they'll just rinse. You know, I got to kill 5 rabbits. That's it. I'm done.
I mean,
So-
like clearly, people need to, you know, get with the times. But for what it was back then, it had that. I mean, there are things that like current game developers can learn from these past games that I feel like they ignore.
But it doesn't even be the old games. Like I said, with Neverwinter, you had that one element that brought you throughout the game. Like if you look at Echo Soul, the guy's got a point. One, the game's story was weak. There's nothing going on. Okay, you just skip past all the dialogue. You don't care. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And there's no sense of like really strong players around you, which we discussed in World of Warcraft, MapleStory, even Ragnarok to a degree. You saw somebody cast like Lord of Vermilion and all this cool shit. You're like,
No,
damn, I want to do
they
that.
They had the aura, dude. They like
Yeah.
walk by you like they look like a god. You
Right?
know, like
You don't have that in Echo of Soul because the
Yeah.
game is not designed for that. It's just
Well-
the way the game is progressed.
Well, that's the thing. You know, what you were saying earlier how a game someone was complaining about like the early part not being fun because you were trying to work towards the end game.
Yeah.
But I think, like and I said, you kind of need that. And one good example I'd bring up is Neverwinter. I loved the game when I first played it, but then when I learned about the whole AFK experience thing, like you log in every day to get free experience. You pray or something.
Yeah.
For me, that kind of ruined the game, straight up.
But you
Because-
don't need to do that. You didn't get that much experience doing it. It was like a way to supplement your XP.
I mean, I know, but it basically made it, like, you know, you were saying you see this powerful guy walk by. It kind of cheapened it because anybody, if in about a year, if you let's say just log in every day for a minute to do that, you're gonna level pretty decently, right?
Yes, but
So it kind of cheapens the value, I think, of like the powerful guy walking by. You have to earn it before.
to a
Yeah, but
degree,
those exploits
yes.
have always existed. You just didn't know about them.
Oh, but these weren't exploits. This is part of the game. You literally
Yeah.
log in and then you push a button and you like level up.
You pray. You get some experience.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was a pretty significant boost.
But
And
you
it
got so
sounds
much
like a
more by
built-in
playing.
exploit.
It's a built-in like it.
You didn't get gear from that either.
No,
the
I'm
whole
not talking about gear.
package, Yeah.
I know, but for example, a free-to-play game like Rift doesn't have something like that. You have to actually still play to get stronger. I
you
don't-
know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm against the whole free experience just for logging in thing, out of principle.
Actually, kind of based on what you were saying there, another thing that old games had was they had really strict penalties. So it was like, if you got there, you know, if you had that aura, you had that level, you like people knew that you earned it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you died in like if you died in like Ragnarok, right? Like say you were like one level before max level and you died, that was like an hour or two of grinding. Like that one death, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but
it's like you knew that people weren't just like because nowadays it's like there's no way to go back, right? You're always going forward, right? No matter how much like no matter how shitter you are, no matter what, you're always crawling your way forward. But in the old games, they didn't let you do that. I mean, you either had to get good or you had to just settle, with being level 80 or whatever, right?
Yep. EQ did the same thing. You could actually D-level in EQ originally if you died.
But these harsh penalties are interesting, but that's not the solution. Just
No.
these harsh. Yeah,
That's in the
It's
past.
not. It's just.
Yeah.
It's just a interesting point.
But we don't have to go so far as to flip it and just give people levels simply for logging in. That's
I think it's just there's just too many choices, guys. It's just MMOs have become too big, and therefore we have too many choices, so we can find fault too easily and just move on to the next thing. It's like if you go into an ice cream shop and there's too many flavors, and every flavor has something a little wrong with it, and it's a little enticing. You can't decide, so you're just gonna try them all a little bit. You're gonna get a free sample to really tie everything nicely. So I don't know. I think if we had less choices, we wouldn't be able to. We would be dedicated to a game.
I think you're right, dude. The sheer number of choices today, it kind of makes people spoiled and kind of want more.
yeah.
Totally spoiled.
That goes back
just
to
had,
my
like,
whole
yeah.
middle age thing. We have to settle. We can't just wait forever. We can't keep going on speed
a
dating.
depressing podcast brought to you.
You will never find true love. You have to settle for
It's just you gotta settle, guys. All right, just find something that you can bear with and doesn't make you want to
kill yourself.
kill yourself. And just get on one knee and say, you know what, for better or for worse, I'm gonna play you for a couple weeks at least.
You can all tell that.
That's all death deals part.
That's funny.
And actually, there's a funny tweet by Notch regarding we're talking about free to play and the rewards in Neverwinter. So somebody asked Notch about free to play, and he tweeted back that free to play is bait and switch, and it should be illegal.
Oh, come on. Get off the high horse.
Yeah, I think he's taking it too far, but that frustration, I think a lot of people share.
That's such bullshit the way he said that, though.
Well,
he said it from his pool in his
$billion house.
20-room mansion.
Yeah.
And
I don't know
Hills.
if you guys know that Notch is the guy who made Minecraft, and he sold it to Microsoft for over $1 billion, and he bought a $10-20 million mansion in LA.
He's living the dream.
Yeah, so
That's okay. Let him enjoy himself, but don't say it should be illegal. This free to play.
But I'll send you guys. I'll link the mansion he lives in. There's pictures online. It
It looks
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
It does look awesome.
But
I'm sure he's got some high-speed internet there.
he's got like the bait and switch thing is in a way it makes sense for some games, but like look at all the people that are playing like HOTS and all the Blizzard games that are free to play. I think it's done correctly. It's not like a bait and switch and all the MOBAs. You can make the argument that a lot of the MMORPGs have some pay to win bait and switch elements built in for sure, but that doesn't apply for half the genre.
I wouldn't even apply it to free to play MMORPGs. I think there's one genre where his line is right, and I would even go so far as to say I might agree with the illegal part, and that is the mobile strategy games like Clash of Clans.
Those are scams. Those are all scams.
Like these games are basically like mental slot machines. They give you like 2 days of protection where nobody attacks you, and then you build up a town or village or whatever. You feel some connection, and after your free time is over, you basically get raided by like people, and then you have an urge to like pay to like protect yourself and like build back up. So there I see the whole bait and switch point he's making.
I agree. A lot of those games are hella sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, the worst you can say for Neverwinter, like I did, is it cheapens it. But it's not bait and switch. It's just
No, it's pretty harsh terminology.
Yeah.
I think it was spoken out of frustration.
I mean, the model of buy to play is still, it's obviously still feasible. Every console game does it. Minecraft made billions off it, but I still like the free to play model because it lets you dip your toe in before you commit any money.
You get to dip your toe in, and not just your pool, but every other pool in the neighborhood, just to see if the water's warm anywhere.
It's got the perfect temperature before you go in, Think of it this way. You go to the ice cream shop, and you get a free scoop of everything, all right? And then you leave.
The ice cream shop analogies, again.
All roads lead to the ice cream shop now.
And the ice cream shop is located in Payon in Ragnarok Online.
On that note, what's everyone's favorite flavor of ice cream? There are correct answers and incorrect answers.
I'm gonna go with pistachio.
That's an
That
incorrect
is my
answer.
favorite.
Oh yeah, high five.
Pistachios.
Two
the
wrong
best.
answers.
We got 2 wrong answers in this call so
I knew
far.
there was a connection between us.
Pistachio?
I know.
That's such a weird ice cream flavor.
It is.
Pistachio?
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I like pistachios by themselves, but not in my ice cream.
Yeah.
Sean, what's your answer?
You know, this is a tough question. This is a tough one.
You can hold on. I'm gonna say Rocky Road is my favorite.
It's not bad. It's
Or
not
anything
bad.
with peanut butter. You can't screw up peanut butter and ice cream. It's just a good combo.
Wow.
I don't know if this is a flavor, but anything that's like chunky chocolate with caramel.
Yeah,
I'm all about
caramel.
that.
These are all good things. Chunkiness, chocolate, and caramel. These are 3 good ingredients.
My favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor is Chunky Monkey.
Oh, I like Chunky Monkey. It's a
I'm
good
not
one.
crazy.
It's a good one.
You really can't go wrong with Ben and Jerry's any ice cream. They're all good.
Well, one quick thing. We're over an hour, and before we close, we had a rule that we were going to announce the next Sunday Funday on each podcast.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
let's brainstorm. What do you got, guys?
What do we got?
Well,
Rust.
Rust could work.
Rust is a good one. We've never done a survival thing. I will say it's going to take a bit to find each other, but I think
heard it was
No,
easier
Rust.
now.
Can't you just drop a sleeping bag now for your friends?
Oh yeah, we should be fine then.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we did. We just dropped a sleeping
Well, we all
bag.
leaning towards Rust. We can do Rust. I think we had a few suggestions earlier, but I forgot them.
Oh,
off the top of my
we're gonna
head.
bring them up then. Let's bring them up.
I don't know what they are. People left them across various YouTube
Well,
videos.
I'll have to wait till next week.
Wait, I know one of them.
Oh, what is it?
Rocket League.
Oh,
Rocket
a lot of
League-
my friends are playing this right now.
Dude, that actually looks pretty interesting.
It looks really fun. I gotta say.
It did look pretty fun. Alright, either Rocket League or Rust.
Well, here's the thing. Rocket League is $20, so we need 4 copies. Maybe we can try begging the developer, even though they're selling well without any help.
We'll beg
Dear
them.
Psionics, we will.
Don't be like Tree of Life. and
Tree
give
of
us-
Life.
Don't be like those guys. Hook us up.
So that's a good thing. So we'll beg the company, and it'll be a surprise for you guys. So if we can beg properly, we'll play Rocket League. If not, we'll be on Rust for you guys. How's
We're gonna
that?
use our EVE Online begging skills for this one. So fingers crossed.
/plead/beg.
All right. Well, anything else, guys, before we call it?
Any other big news for the week we can touch on real quick? Take a look. We'll just sneak them in quickly.
well-
one other minor. Asda 2 is shutting down.
Really?
Not a big surprise. Asda Story, Asda 2. Asda 2 was never that popular.
I used to play Asda Story. I got to the chess dungeon, and then I wiped on the final boss, the queen.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But they're
Brutal.
shutting down July 15th.
There's that
Yeah.
new Grand Chase game.
New Grand
on
Chase
mobile.
came out, but it's not like it doesn't live up to the Grand Chase name. We have a full review on MMOs.com already from our mobile guy Herman. He's awesome. But basically, it's you collect heroes, you run through stages. It's very single player based. You control multiple guys at once. There's really no multiplayer elements in the game yet, so it's not
Maybe
really an
s-
MMO.
If you missed your Grand Chase though, and you need
Yeah.
that lore fix, you know that
Oh, the
you need that
Grand Chase lore.
nostalgia.
The Grand Chase lore.
The
There's no
Grand
lore.
Chase.
There's no Grand
lore.
Chase lore. It's
Chase
the
lore.
gameplay. Path of Exile Awakening launch, which is awesome. My brother actually just made new characters in Path of Exile recently, and that's still a fun game. I love it. Path of Exile is awesome.
Oh, that was also a Sunday Funday
Yeah.
choice or sometime.
Yeah, I actually have a high level character in Path of Exile, but I wanted to make a new character with my brother and a friend of ours. So we didn't get to actually experience the new act yet. But when we eventually do, we'll mention it again here.
Yep. So
And-
probably Rust or the other game.
And apparently, Star Citizen updated their FPS module, which is
Oh.
when I learned that Star Citizen has an FPS module. And how much more can they add on this plate, guys?
This play is just the game is never going to come out with everything it promised. Impossible.
Yeah.
What do you gotta do? You gotta do it, John Oliver. You gotta say you're gonna do something, Omer, if the game comes out.
All right, I'll think something ridiculous, but I already know they're not going to do it.
But
The game's
Light
not going to come
Line.
out. The moment I saw the Kickstarter, right, and they raised all this money, I'm like, all right. I mean, this guy's a video game industry veteran. I understand that, but what has he done for me lately? He's
All right,
old ass
that's
game.
a good point, though. All right, if this game comes out and it has even half the things they promised, I will force myself and my brother to drink a Bud Light Lime. All right.
Do it.
On
do it.
video.
Don't do that to yourselves. That's terrible.
That's why you gotta do
Terrible.
It won't even
John
be
Oliver
refrigerated.
did it.
We'll even
Ugh.
do it unrefrigerated. Okay.
Oh God.
It'll be sitting in the Vegas heat for like a day or two.
You guys are
It's 102
sick
degrees
masochists.
outside.
Disgusting.
All right, and we'll leave
All
you
right,
guys
second
with that.
time.
Yeah. So,
All right,
our
that's
final goodbyes.
This is
See ya.
Remo signing out.
Oh, we have an
Us.
order.
I'm last usually.
Sean, you're
Damn,
next.
Shu accepting her last position.
I know.
See ya.
All right, bye.
See you guys.
Most awkward.